Good evening, Facebook, family, and friends.
Good evening.
Welcome to Couples Coaching 101. Today is Wednesday, September the 6th. We are in September. This year has flown by.
It really has.
So fast. Pretty soon it'll be Christmas and the holidays and Happy New Year, right?
I know.
Yeah. So we want to get started with giving our disclaimer, of course. Anything that you post in the comment section, it is public and all can see. So please be mindful of that. In addition, if you have a private matter that you would like for us to address for you, please send an email to lifewithoutlimitscc@gmail.com. lifewithoutlimitscc@gmail.com, and we will do our best to address your personal concern with you. So tonight we're going to get into, last week we talked about back to school, and we'd love to hear some follow-ups to that. If anyone want us to do some additional follow-up, with two kids going through school, and we've done it all. We did private, we've done charter, we've done public. We have one in college, one in high school. So it's something that I would say we're expert at, but we certainly have a lot of experience at. So
you got stripes.
So if you have some further interest in coaching in dealing with those type of things as it relates to school, just please let us know. And so we're going to get started with our subject this week, which is how to put the fire back in your marriage. Okay. How to put the fire back in your marriage. Okay. So you want to start us off with?
Absolutely. And
our notes on that.
Being married, it's not always, everything's super fantastic. Okay. And it's like an ebb and flow. It's like anything else. It's peaks and valleys in your relationship. And tonight we wanted to do this. We actually came up with this subject on a walk, and we just got to talking, and it just flowed, and here it is. But it's how to put the fire back in your marriage. And so sometimes, you kind of get to a little ebb, or you get to a little valley. So what are some things that you can do to to put the chemistry, to put the fire, to put the feeling? Sometimes you say, well, I'm just not feeling my partner right now. And I get that. Because we all change. So how to put yourself in a position where you can feel your partner. Mm-hmm. So how to put the fire back in your marriage. And so the first thing is schedule time for fun. I think fun is important. I think fun, one of the things I like to always think about is, okay, what did we do when we were dating? And there were certain things that we did when we were dating. I mean, fun. I mean, we just have fun, sitting in the car listening to music. Right. I can remember sitting in the car for like an hour, just listening to music, And
that's how we started talking. That's how we came up on this topic. We was talking about friendship.
Right.
Yeah. And part of that is just being friends. Right. And it's not going to be all lovey-dovey and hunky-dory and peachy keen and roses all the time. But if you're friends and you have that as a baseline, as your foundation in your relationship, then it's much stronger, and you get that, okay, he having a moment right now, he in his feelings today, or whatever it is, and I'm just going to give him space, and I go do whatever it is I do, and he goes and do whatever it is he does. But anyway, but having fun, so one of the things that, and we may actually end up going out of order, but one of the things that we did early on with having fun was we learned a sport together, which we learned when we were dating. We started playing tennis together. Right. So that was a sport that neither one of us knew, but we took the time and planned to learn it together. We went out, bought our little tennis rackets. We looked up the rules of the game, and it was something that we started to do. And then we would often play doubles with other couples that were dating and that sort of thing. So.
Right. Yeah. That's a very good point. I forgot about that. And we've been saying, we need to get back to playing. But so point number 2 is putting your marriage first is make each other a priority. Mm-hmm. So often we have so many things that squeezes your time. I mean, it just really puts you in a position where every minute of the day is practically accounted for, especially with technology the way it is, and you can do so much from the home. So you work at work and then you come home and work. You're sending out emails, responding to emails, your PTA meetings and church meetings and Bible study, and what you'll find is that your partner is on the back burner, right? And
absolutely. So you really have to focus on that and make sure to keep your partner, your forethought. And there's times when you get out of balance. I mean, that's human. Our lives are very busy, but it is very important not to let it be off balance for an extended period of time.
Right.
If it's out of balance for an extended period of time, you will start growing apart. You will start finding other people that you're talking to and leaning on, and he will start finding other people that he's talking to and leaning on. So it's really important to make each other a priority. And like for us, I mean, we did a whole series on spending time together, just having that talk time every day. We try to have coffee together. That's our talk time several times a week. We can't do it every day because I, have commuting time and that sort of thing. And he has patients sometimes early in the morning. We have consultation. We have a busy week, really about 6 days a week. But we do consciously make an effort to have that talk time. And it is sometimes you have to schedule it. If you're a person that have to carry a pager for work, or you have to be in the office early for a specific appointment, or you're in the medical field, then you may have to schedule that time. And that is okay if you have to schedule it, because you schedule other important things such as dental appointments, medical appointments, client appointments. So why not schedule an appointment with your spouse or your partner if that's what needs to happen to make them a priority. Right.
And that's a great way to do it. I mean, making them a priority, scheduling, putting it on the calendar. Everything else is on the calendar. Why not that be on the calendar? And so also, sometimes it's the little things too, and this is a little off script, but sometimes it's the little things. It's like, the Hershey's Kiss under the pillow. You made the bed up this morning. Normally you just jump out of bed and you leave it, and the room looks like it's in shambles. But he might appreciate, she might appreciate, coming home to no dishes in the sink, or a swept kitchen floor, or whatever it is. If it means something to your partner, then it's worth you doing. If it's going to make them feel good, if it's going to make them feel like they're the priority, then it's worth you doing it.
Absolutely.
So I hate cleaning, but.
But he is good at it when he does it.
Right. Well, that's because of my field day. All my military
that's
folks
that's what I fell back on. I was like, don't try to act like you don't know how to clean. You were in the Navy for what? Almost 9 years? Like, really?
It was 100 years in Dalton.
Yeah. Y'all had field day and officers come through. I know you know how to clean, so.
But it doesn't mean I like it. But I did it then to advance in the military. Why not do it to advance in my relationship?
And don't you enjoy when the house is clean?
I do enjoy it. And the bathroom is smelling good. You enjoy that. You do enjoy that stuff, but you just don't want to be the person who has to do it. Right? No. But I do it because Nashima likes it. And when I do it, she appreciates it. And so I'll do it. I'll do it for that. That's worth doing it for, right? Okay. So and those are ways you can put each other first. Those are little things. So they're not big things. Not taking her to Cancun, flying her to Paris, and catching the sunset in Key West. Those things are great. But those things are going to happen. 3-4 times. Maybe over the next, 5 years. So please don't wait for that. Yeah. So let's find the little things, the little things that mean all the difference. And that's a great way of putting your partner first.
Absolutely.
All right. So
the next thing is comfort one another. And oftentimes with comforting one another, we feel like we have to say the right thing, or we want to try to fix it. But sometimes we just need a hug and for you to just listen or just be there in silence. I had a moment what was that, yesterday? Yesterday, missing our daughter away at college, and I had a moment, and it just hit me all of a sudden. But it was just a moment for us, for George to comfort me and just say, hey, it's okay, she's okay, or whatever. So, it's still an adjustment, but that was really, I felt supported in that moment. It wasn't a thing of, oh, she's fine, she's just 2 hours away, or whatever. He didn't try to say the right thing to try to make it right. It was just being there in silence and comforting in that moment. So whatever that is for your partner, of course, that's what you want to do.
Yeah, and sometimes comfort is not saying anything at all, just being there, just being, a lot of my clients that I work with, they say that. They said, this is the first time that somebody actually listened to me and they didn't have a suggestion on what I need to be doing and how I need to be doing it and why this is wrong for me to feel this way or this is right for me to feel this way. Just to just listen.
Absolutely.
Also, speaking your partner's love language. I have that down because so often we speak our own love language. Okay. Right. So, for example, let's say if my love language is gifts, but her love language is acts of service, well, I'm going to give her gifts because I want gifts. Oh, honey, look what I got you. I got you a new iPad.
And I don't want him to do that. I want him to go clean the bathroom. I don't want an iPad.
Right. You see that? You see? And so even though I'm like, girl, you know what I paid for this? This is the size 15-inch, and man, I paid $1,200 for this out of my hard-earned money, out of my paycheck, and I went and bought this for you, and she's appreciating it, but not like it would if it was in her love language.
Right.
Okay,
so,
if it was an act of service.
Right. Because so that could be very frustrating for you as a person giving, and then you will feel unappreciated, and then the person who is on the receiving end, they will feel like you don't get them. Yeah. And basically it is a mixed match of communication styles. So I know we talked about that book before and have actually did probably a couple episodes on on learning your partner's love language.
Yeah,
so
but repetition is the mother of skill.
Right. So it's always something that's out there. You can Google it and really find the different languages anyway. So the other thing we had with regard to making time to listen to one another was to share your feelings. Oftentimes it's really, you really have to be willing to be vulnerable to be in a committed relationship. And that means being true and genuine and really sharing your feelings. And it's hard to do, sometimes even in a marriage, because we put on all these walls of protection to go out every day and do the things that we have to do in work and dealing with the school and situations and other things, just in compartmentalizing our lives outside of the home, that sometimes it is a struggle, or it takes a little while to peel back those layers so that you can be your true and authentic self once you're home. Yeah,
it could be challenging, especially as men. We're not taught to understand or even validate our own feelings, and we're told things like suck it up, be a man, don't be around here, wimping and crying and expressing how you feel. And I get this sometimes. Some of my clients, they go, well, man, are you gay? Because I'm a good communicator. Because, they're not accustomed to a man being a good communicator. I've had clients that tell me, well, I don't want no man. I don't want no man for a client. For a therapist. Yeah. And so, but it's all because of the communication piece and the miscues. And, you know, it comes a little more natural for women, you know, but for men, I feel like it's really hard. You know, we say things like it's all good, you know, I'm going to be all right.
What
you
does
know,
that mean? Exactly.
exactly.
Like,
So,
what does it mean? And the thing about sharing your feelings to the person that's listening is validating those feelings.
Yeah.
You don't have to completely like understand it in terms of you being in that situation, but you need to be able to understand it enough to say that you understand what they're feeling. Like if they communicate, oh man, you know, I'm so mad, you know, traffic was horrendous today and this person cut me off or whatever. It could be something as simple as wow, it sounds like traffic was really horrendous today.
Right.
I mean, I know you kind of was repeating what they said, but that's basically validating what they were feeling.
Right.
Which is what validation is. And then they'll feel that they've been heard when they've shared those feelings.
Right. And just think about how you feel when you feel like somebody gets you and somebody gets, you know, what you're experiencing and what you've been through and what you're trying to say. And so under make time to listen to one another, the other one is discipline. You know, there's a level of discipline when we start talking about listening to one another and appreciating one another, all these things. Some of, you know, love is an action word. Love, to love something is to be disciplined in that thing. Okay. And so clearing out the clutter in your head so you could be available for your partner, for your spouse, takes discipline. Because sometimes, you know, and if you're not emotionally able to be available, just say, hey babe, man, I really want to hear what you're saying right now, but man, I got a lot on my plate right now. Give me a second, and can we talk about this in an hour? Or can we, you know, can I go for a walk? Can I go work out? Can I go watch First Take? And then we can talk about it now. I like First Take. But so, but that takes discipline. It takes discipline because then you got to be able to come back later on and say, you know what? Hey, I'm ready. Sounds like you were going through something. What's going on? Talk to me.
And then when that happens, you do have to be, just what you said, you have to be openly ready to listen and receive what it is that the other person is saying and sharing at that time.
Right.
Which means no technology and
no
TV and
right.
No distractions, that are with you, so you can be there and they can truly share what it is they need to share at that moment.
Exactly. And that means, and I'm speaking to myself mostly because I know you guys don't probably try to watch television and have deep, in-depth conversations. But sometimes I've been known to do that. And so, so I have to be disciplined and just, boop, hitting the off button on the television.
Yeah. I heard somebody say something recently about, I forget the exact quote that they used, but basically it was like multitasking is overrated. And I've always kind of prided myself on I've been able to juggle like 3, 4, 5 things
right.
at one time, and I'm really not good at doing that anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm noticing that I'm not, and I'm believing that multitasking is overrated. Yeah. I mean, how many things can you be really good and effective at one time?
I know I can't multitask. Yeah. I know that. So
anyway, so I know that
we got about 1 minute.
We got about 1 minute out of time there.
And so we'll go over one more point on here. Being a best friend, and we kind of talked about that. But being a friend and being a best friend is two separate things. Now, just because you're married, it doesn't mean that you have to be your partner's best friend. Okay? But you know what? It really helps the relationship get through the difficult times and the joyous times, because don't get it twisted. Your marriage will be tested in good times and in challenging times. They both have a pull. Okay, now you making more money than you ever made, and so now she's saying, "Well, I want to do this," and you're saying, "Well, I want to do that," and it can create a pull. Now that's a good time. That's a successful time. That's the peak, of life. But then you've got the valley. You got the challenging times.
Right.
So, just remember, both can put a pull, on that relationship.
Absolutely.
So, you don't have anything to add? So being a best friend is the foundation.
I think that word best sometimes is overrated too.
What?
Like putting best in front of the friend.
Okay.
And probably more so because this is a concept that I've been, talking to young folk about, is, when you say someone's your bestie, your best friend, like, what does that mean exactly? Have you talked about all the requirements and characteristics of someone that is your quote unquote best friend?
Is there contract signing?
Right. There usually expectations that have been unspoken. So neither you have one level of expectation and they have another. So I mean, yeah, as a married couple, I would consider you my best friend.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. Let me put it like this. If you just got a raise on your job and they're gonna give you an extra $30,000 a year, what's the first phone call you gonna make?
Right.
And that should tell you who you
would say best friend.
Who your best friend is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be saying, thank you, Jesus. So that about wraps it up for this week on couples coaching. Yep. So remember, and thank you everybody for joining and watching. I didn't see everybody, didn't greet everybody as you came on. I know I saw Andrea, I saw Kathy, I saw Elder Suggs, Mr. Derek, and I forget who else was on. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please share and post this video. Remember, anything in the comment section is public. And if you would like for us to address a private matter for you, please send an email to lifewithoutlimitcc@gmail.com. And remember, we empower the people that build the relationships. Have a great rest of your week.
God bless you.